Hey, what up, yo? It's DatBoiPat 47 from Catharsis Records, and today I'm gonna show off some of my hip hop vinyl records. I've been collecting vinyl records since around 2018. Um, and I think I have a pretty decent collection. I got about around maybe 250 around that. I got like all different kinds of styles and stuff, and all different types of artists. From different regions and shit. You know and you already know, if you collect vinyl records, you gotta flex them. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna show off 8. This is gonna be like part 1. I'm gonna show off more. If you want to see some of my other ones, I got they're on my Instagram at Catharsis Records. So let's just get into it. So the first record that I'm gonna talk about is Joey Badass 1999. This was like a really influential project for me, just as like a young rap fan, because when this came out, I was around 14 years old. I wasn't like really super into rap, like I wasn't really into like music like really at all, you know. But when I heard this and I heard about Joey Badass, yeah, I heard about Capital STEEZ and Pro Era and Beast Coast. Um, it just like sent me down this rabbit hole of like hip hop like music that I'm still like kind of in. This got me into so many different things. Like I wouldn't have been into like diggable planets if I didn't know Capital STEEZ was like a big Diggable Planets fan. I wouldn't have really gotten to MF Doom if it wasn't for this project. You know, um, this was like really one of the first like hip hop projects I had listened to that I really enjoyed. And Joey Badass, he's killing it on this. Like, it's kind of insane that he dropped this when he was only 17. So that probably meant that he recorded all this when he was 16. So it's really like he was 16 when he recorded all this stuff. you know and I was so like glad that this finally got like an official release on vinyl, because I had actually gotten the bootleg like a week before the official release came out, and I was kind of pissed because I spent like $50 on that bootleg, and this was like $20. you know but like, this doesn't this is still pretty solid. It's a better, like, I think the pressing quality on this is better than the bootleg, even though the bootleg has like some of the original samples. But yeah, if you have this on vinyl, you're like really lucky. I mean, I've got Joey Badass's whole discography. And if you don't have it, and you can find it like on Discogs and you can afford it, I would definitely pick this up. All right, so the second one I'm going to talk about is Earl Sweatshirt, Some Rap Songs. I got this when me and my friend, we got this on Earl Sweatshirt's Some Rap Songs tour, and we got this at, not at the show, but at a record store in Charlotte. Lunchbox Records is probably the best record store in North Carolina, in my opinion. But yeah, like, this was the first like modern hip hop record I had gotten, because before this, all I had was a lot of older like '90s shit, and I still haven't even opened it. Like, it's still sealed, so I don't even really know what it sounds like. But just the fact that like this album like kicked off this like new wave of like underground like experimental like hip hop and shit. And I mean, Death Grips had been around, but this kind of like really brought it so like more like general rap fans would listen to like experimental shit. And I'm glad I have it. I think, I don't know how much it is like listed on like Discogs, but like, if you can afford this, I would definitely pick this up. All right, so the third one that I'm gonna talk about is Gravediggaz, 6 Feet Deep. I really fuck with this. This one is pretty good too. This is like a horrorcore album from Gravediggaz. They're like a 4-man group. It's got RZA from WuTang, Too Poetic from Brothers Grimm, Prince Paul from De La Soul, and Fruquan. Yeah, like, this shit is pretty good. This isn't like the official release. This is a bootleg. In the bootleg, the pressing is okay. Like, the grooves on this, they're not like all the way like a perfect circle, so like the tone arm will like sway back and forth a lot, but it's still like the sound is still there. This was like really the only horrorcore album that like I the first one I heard where I was like actually really impressed, because the only horrorcore shit I had heard like before this was just like ICP and all that other like cringy shit, you know. I think this one's relatively affordable. I paid like $60 for this. So if you like Wu-Tang, if you like, like horrorcore, I would definitely pick this up. So the fourth one I'm gonna talk about is All-Amerikkkan Badass by Joey Badass. This is probably, in my opinion, Joey Badass's best project musically. His rapping might not be the best, like most like backpacky like rapping. Like he's still using a lot of metaphors on this, but he's not like having like super hard like bars like he did on his album before this one. This shit is pretty good. It sucks that this is gonna be Joey Badass's last physical release for an album, is what he said. I don't know how true that is, but I'm just gonna go on what his word is. I really think that like this is really misunderstood by like a lot of Joey Badass's fans, because a lot of them think this shit sucks because it's like his like mainstream poppy sounding album, but I still think the content still has substance to it. Like this album is really critical of like white society and like the government and like the judicial system and a lot of things that are like prejudicial against black people, in America. And I feel like since a lot of Joey Badass's fans are white, that kind of content like makes them uncomfortable, which is why a lot of them think this album is like not good. But if you don't think this is a good rap album, probably don't know anything about rap. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm not sure how much this is listed for on like Discogs or anything. I think the last I saw was like $200. So if you like Joey Badass, you like conscious hip hop, I would definitely pick this up. All right, so the fifth one that I'm gonna talk about is Doom, Born Like This. I actually just recently got this. Like I got this off of Lex Records on Bandcamp, which was the record label that put this record out. And yeah, this is MF Doom's 2009 album. He dropped the MF on this one, so he's just Doom. And this is probably MF Doom's most like villainous sounding album. Like he's saying a lot of shit on this that it's like really violent and it will like make you kind of uncomfortable. Even though this does have my least favorite MF Doom song, Batty Boys, I still think like other than Vaudeville Villain, which on my last video I said was his most underrated project, this is easily like a close second for his most underrated project, I feel. I'm not sure if this is on gasdraws.com, but if it is, I definitely picked this up. It's got a lot of really like some of his most kind of weird sounding beats, and like it's got some really cool features on it as well. So if you like MF Doom, I would definitely get this. I don't think it wasn't too expensive. I think it was like 30 or 40 bucks. All right, so the sixth record that I'm gonna talk about is Atrocity Exhibition by Danny Brown. This record was like the first like really weird kind of like experimental album that I heard, because before this, this came out in 2016. All I was really listening to was like a lot of traditional sounding rap, like Joey Badass and like Chance the Rapper and Kendrick Lamar. But this was like really one of the first like really weird sounding albums that I heard that I really enjoyed. The rapping on this goes really hard. The features on this are really good. I really enjoy like the really energetic, chaotic beats that are on this. Like these beats bump like super hard on this record. And the vinyl itself this is like the limited edition pink one, and it has like a plasticky jacket to it, kind of like what like a picture disc would have, but it's still pretty solid. Yeah, here's like the disc, like it looks pretty cool. This is the first colored one that I showed. I actually think this is the first colored record I bought. I think most of the other ones I had were just like the stereo black ones, So if you like really energetic-y, kind of like experimental, weird rapping and weird voices and shit, I would definitely buy this. Like, I think this one is, I think last time I saw on Discogs was like 80 bucks or something. So if you can afford that, I definitely get this. So the seventh one that I'm going to talk about is WuTang Forever. This is Wu-Tang Clan's second studio album, and this one is it's considered a classic by like a lot of people, and I think it is too. I got this at Record Bar in Wilmington. They have a like really good like selection of hip hop records. They had a lot of stuff that I was fucking with. I got this and Black on Both Sides when I went there. But yeah, this is like pretty good. Like this is like a 4 LP because it was like a double disc album from '97, and yeah, like this is like really solid. Like this has some of Wu-Tang Clan's like most best produced, like best rapped like songs. Like, and it doesn't have like that rugged like kung fu-y like traditional like Wu-Tang sound to it, you know. But this kind of like ushered in like that second wave of like Wu-Tang like rapping and production that they would eventually do in like the 2000s. So yeah, this record is relatively affordable. Since it is a 4 LP, it's probably gonna be like 40, 45 bucks. That's what I paid for this, you know. But it is really like, you know, easy to find on like the internet and stuff. So if you like Wu-Tang Clan, you like 90s East Coast hip hop, I would, you know, definitely recommend this. All right, so the last one that I'm gonna talk about is Capital STEEZ, American Corruption. Every time I bust this out, people like are always asking me like, "Hey, like, man, where'd you get this shit? Like, where'd you get this?" I actually found this by accident. Like, I think I was just looking at Capital STEEZ's Discogs page one day, and I just saw American Corruption double LP, and it was like, and this is obviously a bootleg. You know, there's never gonna be an official release of this. Yeah, and I really fuck with this. I didn't listen to this when this came out. I listened to this out after 1999. But like this like the rapping on this is so good. Like the wordplay, the lyricism, like all the similes and metaphors on this is like just the kind of hip hop that I really enjoy, you know. I'm into like, you know, wordplay and all that kind of stuff, and this really did it. This has a lot of beats from like MF Doom and Madlib. There's some like knowledge beats on this. There's some beats that Joey Badass made on this. You know, this kind of like encapsulated like that early like 90s revivalist sound that I kind of fell in love with as soon as I heard it. You know, I didn't love this that much when it came out. I kind of started really realizing how good this was after Capital STEEZ had died. I'm really like lucky that I got this on vinyl because this is one of my favorite projects, like just in music, period. You know, and I think this one is kind of hard to find now because I had gotten it off of HHV and they had like a bunch, they had it in stock like a bunch, but now it's very limited, you know. So if you can get this and afford it, I would definitely recommend that you buy this. And this isn't on streaming, so if you want to listen to this, you're gonna have to download it off of DatPiff, or it's on SoundCloud as well. So I would definitely recommend listening to this. All right, so that's gonna do it for me for right now. I'm gonna probably drop like vinyl collection vids like every 2 weeks, you know. So you know, be on the lookout for those. If you like the records that I have, definitely follow my Instagram page where I post shit every couple of days, you know. So yeah, what are some records that y'all really enjoy that you want to talk about? You know, what are you know, some artists that, you know, you like? You know, I might have them. I have a lot of like different varied hip hop records, you know. So, you know, make sure you follow me on Instagram at DatBoiPat. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you do all that shit. So yeah, I'll see you next time.